Harris Heller declares that there are literally too many streamers on Twitch.
So we've literally cut in half the number of available viewers that are there to watch you. And this is the number one problem for the future of live streaming.
And I don't think it's going to get better.
There's not enough viewers per streamer. And I said the same thing about Mixer on a Streamer News episode a while back. And I owe you guys an episode of Stream Critique, because I was away for the holidays. So we're going to try a different format for Stream Critique today, because I think you're going to want to know or hear what I have to say. Let's jump in after a word from our sponsor, because this episode of Stream Critique is brought to you by Owned. Owned is the place to go for overlays and alerts and all of the streaming visuals you could need to really empower your streaming brand. And the cool thing is that unlike a lot of pre-made streaming packages you can buy out there, these kits are fully modular. They're fully customizable. You can change out the colors, change out the elements, so that, you know, even if you recommend your buddy and he picks out the exact same layout as you, it's probably unlikely that you'll end up with the similar looking stream. So head to eposvox.gg/OWN3D to sign up and get you some nice stream branding, or a YouTube banner, or social media graphics, or any number of things. Go check it out. Upgrade your stream today. So yes, over on Alpha Gaming, Harris Heller put up a video called "There Are Literally Too Many Twitch Streamers," where he had a friend whose name I think is Devin, but I'm not really sure because he never actually bothered to introduce who the heck he was talking to or what was going on or where they got any of this data from. But they supposedly have data from Twitch from 2011 onward as far as how many viewers and how many streamers there are, which shows a correlation between there being too many streamers on the platform and a significant decrease in the number of viewers available per streamer. This happens with every form of social media and online broadcasting once it becomes, you know, more mainstream, and once it hits peak capacity or, you know, peak accessibility for streamers. And this is, you know, no thanks in part to someone like me or Harris, who help you guys learn how to stream and get streaming easy. It's now easier than ever to get live streaming, which means that everyone is doing it. Even people who previously would be watching live streams are now streaming. They had an interesting conversation that kind of breaks down some of this, and I pointed out the same thing with regards to Mixer in my coverage of Mixer's viewer reporting and things like that back on a Streamer News episode a couple months ago now, or at least a month ago now, in that all of the streamers were moving over to Mixer once Shroud and Ninja moved over, but the viewers weren't necessarily moving over. The viewers that did move over were mainly watching, you know, the new people, or the people who moved that were the big names. They weren't necessarily watching anywhere else. And so it actually turned out that numbers wise, Twitch is still the place to be if we're talking pure ratios, because there is still more viewers available per streamer on Twitch than there are on Mixer. Mixer is the equivalent of basically suffocating in an overpopulated pond, whereas Twitch is just being a small fish in the ocean. You still have more room than you do over on Mixer, even if it's still not great. Something they pointed out is that just chatting is the most growing category, and I find this all to be a little weird and kind of hilarious for it to be a news topic these days, because what we're seeing is that Twitch is basically going full circle back to Justin TV, which, if you're unaware, Twitch actually started as a completely different website called Justin.tv, which was a general broadcasting and streaming website. It was a site where you could just, even straight through the web browser, broadcast your webcam, broadcast yourself. Oh wait, that's YouTube's line. Broadcast anything you want, and gaming became popular, so popular that they decided to branch it off on its own website, twitch.tv, and eventually Justin.tv essentially died off. Twitch was the main thing. They got bought up by Amazon, Justin TV shut down, and then over time, Twitch has introduced other non-gaming categories, and we've basically come full circle to it being no longer just the game streaming site, it's the streaming site for everybody. And that means that categories like food and politics and just chatting are now attracting other audiences, people from other countries that are now starting to stream on Twitch, as well as just audiences who aren't gamers, who are just there to see this person or to hang out with people and chat with people and to get that more engaging and interactive element. But we're also seeing a growth in just chatting because more and more people are doing it. And this is something I've really been recommending in my episodes of Stream Critique here to the streamers being featured. And that's not going to change here, because IMO and what seems to be the most successful is when streamers aren't just streaming them playing video games for 8 hours and then turning it off. That was never an enjoyable experience overall. There was always viewer drift for that, and the streamers who became the most popular were streamers who made it more dynamic, who had little shows or segments or breaks or just kind of just chatted before it was a category with their viewers in between matches and, to take a break from a match while switching games, things like that, and didn't just, grind 12 hours a day on the same video game for 7 days a week. That always seems to be, I'm trying to say this as nicely as possible, that always seems to be the default mentality that people take with regards to growing on a platform, is they see that someone on YouTube or Twitch or something plays video games and they are successful, and so they only focus on that. They only do that. They ignore the part where, Ninja was building a whole brand outside of just streaming, where Shroud had a whole following related to his pro gaming career before he was streaming. Instead, people want to just jump on Twitch, play Call of Duty or PUBG or Fortnite or whatever for 12 hours, log off and find success, or to make the same gameplay commentary videos on YouTube day in and day out and find success. And that's always missing the bigger picture. You see, platforms are just one tool that are supposed to be in your toolbox. They're supposed to be one tool that you utilize to achieve your bigger goals. Your goals honestly shouldn't be streaming for 12 hours a day, every day of the week, to 50 people or whatever. That's not a healthy nor productive way to build your brand or build a business. And if that's all you want to do, if that is really your goal, is you just want to have a semi-successful streaming for 8 hours a day and turn it off, or get home from work, stream for 4 hours, turn it off, go back to work, come home, then we need to allow room for newcomer streamers to develop a mindset that is different than I want to be a successful streamer, because most of the successful streamers are running a business, running a brand that encompasses more than just live streaming. And I think that's a big disconnect. We're at a weird transition point right now where a lot of people, they don't want to involve themselves in that. They think that you can just do X on X platform and have a sustainable full-time career. And that's never even really been how it works. And that's definitely not how it works right now. So I want to pull up 2 streamers, because this is Stream Critique. We are critiquing streamers. We're going to do kind of a speed run here of it, just to, again, try in a new format that I want to show that are kind of the polar opposite. Not polar opposite, the second one still has a lot of work to do, but are definitely approaching it in different ways that I think helps illustrate my point. Our first streamer here is Fragavelli, who seems to log in every 4 days or so, streams for a few hours, and then gets off. He plays a video game, he streams that video game, he gets off. His Twitter has no real content, it's just text tweets. There's no significant for Twitter videos, there's barely any picture usage. His YouTube channel does keep the consistent branding to his Twitch, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But his channel page is pretty barren. There's no real inspiration to it. It needs some work, and there's not a whole lot else going on. He just seems to come home or finish whatever he's doing for the day, or either have set stream days, get on, streams his game, probably has fun, and gets off. That's what I call a casual streamer. A casual streamer is unlikely to become a full-time streamer because they're not doing the extra steps. They're not going the extra mile to get to that point. And if you can't afford that time-wise, energy-wise, what have you, it's okay to be a casual streamer. It's okay to be Fragavelli. There's nothing wrong with what he's doing. That is honestly all I see streaming as. I'm the stream professor guy, and streaming is just a casual hobby for me. I will sometimes, when I want to play a video game, stream it. And that's all. I don't expect to grow a big following from it. That's not my main thing, but it is one tool in my tool shed that I can utilize to further build my bigger brand. And that is a big difference here. Looking at Fragavelli's channel and his streams, he has fairly simple branding, but it is consistent, from his banner to his panels to his stream graphics to his YouTube channel and to his Twitter banner. They're all consistent and stick together and unifies his visual brand. Good points there. Something I always want to point out if it's not being done right. Good there. And his webcam frame is simple. It's not distracting, but there's not a whole lot else going on the screen. I struggle to find points of alerts to highlight those, but there's not a whole lot extra. It's just a guy playing a video game, which again, that's a casual stream, and that's totally fine if that's what you want. But I don't feel like there's enough room, both from the creator side and kind of the general social pressure side, where that could be all Fragavelli wants from it. And if that's fine, he needs to not be fed messaging of he needs to do whatever it takes to succeed as a streamer. Because if he just wants to be a casual streamer, just playing, Halo every few days for a few hours live to a couple people, that's a successful casual stream. He's doing it. I would like him to flip his camera around to the other side of the screen so he's looking into the frame and not out of it, as I pointed out before. because that really just bugs me. And maybe turn off the shadow play frame rate counter, because generally speaking, once your game's running smoothly, it's always going to be running smoothly. I did look over at his YouTube channel, and again, other than the actual channel page not having really anything on it, he does actually do a good job of connecting topics that he tweets about to his videos and hopefully things he talks about on his live stream. But I would say he should have dedicated time where he just talks about that on stream instead of just streaming for the full 4 hours or whatever. Have it just chatting section where he rants about aim assist on Halo Reach or what the future of Halo should look like, things like that, where he actually talks about his opinions instead of just playing it and kind of denoting it on the side and then saving that for videos. And then he can highlight an excerpt of him talking about that for Twitter, upload that as a Twitter video, link back to his YouTube video, and it's a cross promotion threesome here between Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. Builds a brand. I'm the guy that's talking about this. Here's me talking about it, tying 3 different places together. It's a great way to go and optimizes your way of reaching a bunch of people. But if you don't want to do all that work, that's fine. Be a casual streamer. There is literally nothing wrong with that. And I think more people actually want that from their streams, but they're still in this mindset that I need to be a real streamer or a successful streamer. Thus, I need to continue this grind and find all the best possible strategies. And that doesn't work. I will say another sign of this that really kind of bugged me when I was scrolling through the VODs is I found this bit right at the start of a stream where he says, he's like talking pretty quietly and he's like, yeah, I didn't even warm my voice up yet. We're going to be off to a slow start here.
I'm still a little groggy from the sleeping pill I took last night, so I might be a little slow getting started. Haven't even warmed my voice up yet.
Again, if you're coming home from work and that's all, you're just wanting to do a casual stream and move along, totally fine. If you are looking to be a full-time streamer, this is a performance. This is a show. You should be warmed up before the show. You should be ready to go. You wouldn't go on stage and be like, yeah, I didn't bother preparing today. So what's the script again? All right, yeah, we're going to wing it. You wouldn't do that. So you need to decide where that line is. Again, I want to make it clear that I am not trying to harp on this specific person. I'm not trying to be mean to Fragavelli here. I want to make sure that you, the viewer, you right now, understand this difference, because I truly believe that not enough people do. Because yes, there are too many streamers on Twitch. There are too many streamers on the stream house. I was trying to make it work. But not all of them are, or at least should be, chasing ninja level status, because yeah, it will be impossible for all of those people to succeed on that level, but not all of them want to. We've seen more and more streamers because it's more and more easily accessible, and it's more and more easy for casual streamers to do that, and that's okay. More people being able to create stuff for fun and having fun, totally fine. Doesn't take away from people trying to do it full time, really. On the other hand, we have our second streamer for today, who is Cyforg. I hope I'm saying that right. Cyforg, was streaming on Twitch. I think he just switched to Mixer. Even as I was preparing for this episode, he was live on Mixer. So I think he may be transitioning, and Mixer doesn't let me clip stuff. So I'm mainly going to use slightly older, it's only from a week or two ago, Twitch clips, just to make my life easier, because otherwise I just got to like screen cap a whole stream and then cut it out myself, and not doing that. Mixer, get your clips situation sorted out. But he streams and regularly starts his stream not jumping into a game, but warming up by showing off his setup, tweaking things, chatting with his viewers, and really just kind of engaging them and showing, things on screen, like he was shopping for a monitor, talking to his viewers about which monitor he's going to get, things like that, to really kind of get them introduced to what he has going on. And then he jumps into his game, which is currently Dead by Daylight. Plays a little bit, has an intermission section where, again, he pulls up whatever he wants to talk about, has his webcam a little bit bigger, just kind of chats, shows off his setup, maybe fixes a couple things, crawls into the unknown. That was cool. And just generally, breaks up his stream into more digestible chunks, because frankly, part of my turnoff with live streaming, with like tuning into a streamer, is I tune into someone like Ninja or Shroud or somebody, and I'm just in the middle of this game, and there never seems to be like a good entry point unless you were watching from, unless you just happen to be watching from that entry point. And I'm someone who likes to like know what's going on from the start of me watching through it, and not just show up in the middle of the game when someone's just like quietly and angrily like shooting, pew, 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 and barely talking. I want to be introduced to the content. I want to be built into the story that's going on here. I will say that his music usually is a bit too loud for my preferences, and in a few sections he was playing with someone over voice chat, and you pretty much could not hear them at all. Definitely need to crank them up. Sometimes he has audio desync that does need fixed a little bit as well. but the breaking up of the stream and having it be a more dynamic show is good to go. I do think he needs to end his stream a little bit better because he starts it good, he has intermissions throughout that are good, and then it doesn't seem like there's much of a smooth ending at all. And I understand for a lot of streamers, they may stream until they just need to pass out and it's like, all right, I gotta go, guys, bye. I'm guilty of this myself. I'm terrible about this. When really you need to have a little bit of a wind down period, if I can say that, and kind of smoothly, you build up to the climax of your best gaming moments and then you smooth down until you're kind of done streaming for now. And I think that's really important. Unfortunately, they are not doing the other points that I wanted to brag about, and that their Twitter and YouTube have seemingly been dead for like a year. He just started posting on Twitter again about his Mixer streams like a month ago, but otherwise hadn't posted since the summer. So you definitely want to, all the points I just said, I'm not going to repeat them, but get that extra engaging content going. I will say that specifically on Twitch, he was doing a good job with his panels of integrating all of the different things about him as different entry points to engage with him. And that it featured his Twitter, his Steam wish lists, his socials, and all different ways for people to find him and learn more about him. Like someone could start talking about games on his wish list and what he's excited for and things like that. But you do see a difference here, I think, between someone like Fragavelli, who I would classify as a casual streamer, who doesn't necessarily have a ton of viewers going right now and just focuses all on gaming, whereas you have someone like Cyborg, who spends a lot of his time just chatting with his viewers, building a live engagement show, and gaming is just one of the pieces of entertainment. And I really do think that it's possible, again, if you're wanting to min-max your success here, it is very possible to stream too much, to stream you playing a video game too much. Your viewers get burned out or become uninterested because it's the same thing every time, especially in multiplayer games, and you're not being productive, and it's not healthy to just sit there and do the same thing all day, every day. You're not actually building any, believe it or not, and I know this is hard for a lot of people to grasp, but the time you spend streaming a video game is probably the least growth productive time for your brand or business or stream that you're actually putting in. I know that people, there's this super toxic streamer mentality of you must be streaming in order to grow and be successful, but that's really not the case. And maybe we'll talk about that more in future videos. But I need to wrap this up. Thank you so much to our sponsor, Owned, for sponsoring this video. Go check them out, EposVox.gg/OWN3D. Get yourself some streaming assets. And let me know what you think about the differences between casual and attempted, people who are reaching for to be I don't want to say real streamer, because that's not it, but I need a term for it. A career streamer, perhaps? A professional streamer. They're trying to be a professional streamer. People who want to be a career, I feel like career streamer is the right term. Let me know what you think about those differences and how the kind of stigma and overall social expectations and demands are placed with regards to those different kinds of streamers. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Go check out our featured streamers linked in the description below as well. Subscribe for more tech education. I'm EposVox. I'll see you next time.